I want to thank everybody for coming out. More Science Temple of America. This is Subordinate Temple 12. We want to thank everybody again for coming out. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. This is a class, it's not a dictation of any kind, so it's for us to gain a little bit of information and share with each other so we can kind of grow in our understanding, overstanding of this this Quran that we have, More Science Temple American Quran. We usually start with a prayer, and we have a reading of a bylaws, and then we have the closing prayer. So anybody that want to may stay seated during the prayer and silent benediction while we do that. We'll stand now, face east, and we'll have prayer. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Please remain standing for the reading of the bylaws. More Science Temple of America, Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 1, the Grand Sheikh and the chairman of the Moore Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moore Science Temple of America. Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known before the members of the Moore Science Temple of America. Act 2, all members are to be open. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for Muslims all over the world. Act 3, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moore Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all, that he may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4, our members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and partial of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5, this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. We are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name, to be recognized by the government in which they live in the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7, all members must promptly attend their meeting and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Noble Drew Ali, founder, Moorish American prayer, Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen. The Moorish Science Temple of America, home office is Noble Drew Ali, Chicago, Illinois, USA. May be seated. We got one more reading. Prophet warns all Muslims to read in every meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet will violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Ungrateful. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Peace. Noble Drew Ali. Islam. Islam, everybody. So do anybody have any questions or anything before we get started into this? No? Okay, well, we're going to get started. I rise by giving praise, honor to Allah, the Almighty, to the first Supreme Grand Sheikh, all the way down to our present Supreme Grand Sheikh. And I give praise, I give honor to all of the Moors all over the world. I want all of them to come in and do this beautiful thing that we got. So I want to give them honor for trying to do that. Today we're going to talk about a couple things. First is going to be, we're going to really read out of chapter 15 in the Moorish, the Holy Quran, the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's this book right here, our holy book. We're gonna read a little bit out of that, out of chapter 15. And what we're studying is ministry. We're gonna give a couple words so we can get some clarity of what's going on with that. Because a lot of times we don't have all the words we need to get an understanding. Then we saying we're gonna go back and get that word and look at it, then we don't go back and look at it, and we don't have a clarity of what's going on. So this is the divine ministry of Jesus. Jesus goes to the wilderness for self-examination, where he remains 40 days, is subjected to 3 temptations. He overcomes, returns to the camp of John and begins teaching. So again, we're going to go into ministry. We hear about people in a ministry. Do we know what a ministry is? That's a bona fide question that a person would have. But we're going to look at this. We had a word logos. If we look at it, the first sentence is the harbinger had paved the way. The logos had been introduced to men as love, made manifest, and he must now begin his divine ministry. I see that. You want to move up with this brother? Oh, you got, okay, good. Everybody else good? Okay. So it said, so he could, and he must now begin his divine ministry. So logos, let's just look at the word and get some clarity on a couple of these words before we take off into this. Logos is the word of God, the principle of divine reason and creative order. This extends to the government and the redemption of the world. So we'll have this. I passed out some paper. Did anybody else need any paper? So you may have to write these words down so then you'll have a clarity. Because these words continue to submit themselves through the whole through the whole Quran. So you have to know what the definition is or what's trying to be expressed in it so that you can get clarity so it can assist you in how you want to live your life. Because that's a choice. It's totally up to the individual how they want to live their life. There's nothing going to come and force you to do anything. You at liberty, you have freedom to do nothing. You know, we just trying to give you information as to what your body parts, your makeup, your faith, how you was created works in an effortless way to produce a solid Moor, so to speak, a solid Muslim. You know, so that's logos. Did anybody need to say that again? Logos. Yeah. So we're dealing with the word of God, creative order, extension of the government. That's going to be an extension of the government. Could you imagine having the word of God and it's not in your government? Anybody responses on that? What kind of sense would it make to have the word of God coming to you, but it's not in your government? It's not in how you govern your people. So the government is what? Right. Well, I don't know if it would be God, but it wouldn't be in its best form. Right. It wouldn't be in its best form because you have something that words from God, but those words don't make up your rules and regulations and laws. They're not based in that. They're based in something else. It's not the preemptive, the primary thing in your government. So that's what we want that to be that. Then to manifest. That word sometimes give us a bit of a problem because we say we manifest into the earth realm, where we in the realm where it's physical things that you can see and touch and feel, as opposed to a realm where you can't feel and touch and see. You know, if I say something exists that I can't see, so something else must exist that I can't see, or I would never have enough sense to say something about it. Islam? So manifest is something already exists, then it becomes visible to us. Just a easy definition for us to deal with. It already exists. Manifest means that now it becomes visible. I can see it, but it already existed before then. Islam? So now divine, the word divine. Now who can give me a definition for divine? Or right off the top of your head, what do you think divine means?
The supreme.
The supreme. Anybody else? Pure. Supreme, pure. Anybody? Supernatural. We got all those things. So, and that's true. All those things. And in simplicity, it works because it's just simply a greater insight. So divine leads you to a greater insight. Now we can get a big complicated explanation for that, but it's simply a greater insight. If you have a divine thinking or divine reasoning, you see more than the other person because it includes the spiritual part that is not seen, that has not been manifest, but it's still there. So when people are saying that something they're telling you something about the future, they're really not telling you anything about the future. They're only telling you what's not seen yet. So it's just going to be manifest later. But it has to exist now, or it can't come later. Everything, like for instance, there has to be an incubation time for a baby, or it can't exist in 9 months, right? It's not going to happen. You're not going to just, boom, there go a baby. So the time when you can't see it does not mean that it doesn't exist. It still exists. So it's coming. So that's where we got divine and we got manifest, right? Anybody need me to repeat manifest or divine, or is it simple enough? Because that's the point. We want to make it as simple as possible. Ministry is, anybody got ministry? I'm going to minister to you. What is that?
Teach.
Teach. There you go. That's good. Anybody else? Learn something. Yep.
Serve.
Serve. All those is great. because that's all that is. It says office, service, attendance, you know, as ministry, and the minister is to be of service, aid, attend, wait on. So that's what it is, the aid, to wait on. That's the minister to somebody. Okay, so we're gonna read a little bit more, and we're gonna keep it moving because we got two things to get out of here today. Okay, let's say, so we had that the logos had been introduced to men as love, made manifest. So now did love already exist? Yeah. Right. So it was made manifest. So something that wasn't seen became seen now. So that's all it's saying. That it already existed. So Jesus didn't come and say, okay, I'm gonna give you something new that don't exist. That's not the case. It already exists, but now it becomes manifest. And it says, and he must now begin his divine ministry. Now, divine is what again? A greater insight. Right, he got a greater insight. And what was ministry?
To serve.
Right, to serve, to aid, you know what I'm saying? So he got a greater insight to serve him. So that's what it's saying. So he must start this greater insight to serving. Now we got to find out who he gonna serve and what's going on. So it said, and he went forth into the wilderness to be alone with the law, that he might look into his inner heart and know his strength and worthiness. So what is his inner heart? What is he talking about?
Inner mind.
Right, his deepest thoughts. He want to go into his deepest thoughts. You know, how do we get to our deepest thoughts?
Meditation.
We meditate. We meditate upon these things and we go deep in thought about it. And all right. So, and with himself he talked, he said, my lower self is strong. By many ties I am bound down by carnal life. He said he was talking to himself. So he's crazy, right? No. Y'all be at home talking to yourself? Yeah. Must be crazy too. Right. Hey, brother, tell security, call them people. Got a bunch of people in here be talking to themselves. No, but this is a normal aspect of your life. If you do not talk to yourself, that's abnormal. That's abnormal. That's not normal for somebody to go around not talking to themselves. When you see little kids, they talk to themselves all the time. They be walking around just talking. You're like, who is you talking to? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're talking to somebody because you're talking. You know, we're supposed to be able to lead them by saying, okay, you're talking to yourself then. Okay, that's fine. You know, oh, they crazy, schizophrenic. But this is clearly the options that you have. This is one of the things that you can do. And it said in his inner heart. And with himself he talked. He said, my lower self is strong. By many ties I'm bound down to carnal life. I have the strength to overcome and give my life a willing sacrifice for men. So he's saying that he want to give his life a willing sacrifice for men. So we look up there and he said that he wanted to start his divine ministry, this insight into serving who? Men. He have a divine insight into serving men. So he want to know if he's gonna be able to do this. So what is okay, he said he want to sacrifice. He said to give himself as a sacrifice. Now, when we look at the word sacrifice here, what is he talking about? What type of sacrifice is he about to make here?
Personal ones, like his time.
Yeah. Do you think he thinking right here, I want to go and die for these people? Right, right. He's not going into, I'm about to go and die for nobody. That's not what he's talking about. He's saying that he's going to do something else. So he said, when I shall stand before the face of men and they demand a proof of my messiahship, what will I say? When he say the face of men, what is he talking about?
Humanity in itself? Or?
Right, in general, all of this. He said all of this, he's saying, is what he's focusing on. So when he stand in front of the real man, the truth, the face, the truth, when he stand in front of it, he's saying, will he be able to stand tall? Will he have that divine reasoning? Will it be able to sustain him in every engagement of truth with every man? That's what he wants to know. Now let's back up for a minute. He said he's tied to many ways. He's tied to carnal life. What is carnal life? What is carnal?
Right now, earth, physical.
Yeah, physical. He said, what you say?
Like your natural desires.
Natural desires. Anybody
Pretty
else?
much what we was talking about last week as far as finite things, right?
Right. Something that's going to pass. That's carnal. Now, there was things that existed, and we've seen it manifest itself because it already existed. But carnal is a thing that did not exist before you was manifest. So before you became from the soul plane to this manifest state that you're in now, physical, there was no carnal to manifest itself. The carnal came as the result of you coming into physical being and another nature being developed to deal with the physical being. It didn't exist. Why? Because it wasn't needed. There was no physical body on the soul plane. So it did not need a physical nature. Islam? So carnal came as the result of the actions that you took after becoming physical. Now you start eating flesh, you start doing other things. So another nature came. Like, this is crazy right here. This is something. So, and matter of fact, and we can go into some deeper thinking and deeper studying you can do. And actually, it scared the angels. It scared those that did not fall. They was like, whoa, that's deep. So, but that's on another level. We can get on that at a different time. So, but that's a very serious thing. So that's the carnal part. So that's our desire, food, lust, sex, hating somebody. All of that stuff is that's where it comes from. So he said he wanted to give himself a willing sacrifice for men, right? All right. So, and it says here, and then the tempter came and said, if you be the son of Allah, command these stones to turn to bread. And Jesus said, who is it that demands a test? It is no sign that one is a son of Allah because he does a miracle. The devils can do mighty things. So he's saying that if somebody do something fantastic in front of you, does not change the fact that they did not do it through divine reasoning, that you didn't get to that point through solid reasoning. So that's what he's talking about. Will I be able to identify this person's error in his reasoning? That's not godly reasoning. That's not productive. That's only finite thinking. That thought pattern is gonna pass. Am I gonna be able to recognize that thought? If everybody with me, or did I lose you? No? Good, okay. So that's what he's talking about. So what he's saying is, it's not, if you do a miracle, that don't mean anything. Because you can trick me 1,000 times. But when I sit and I watch you, I'm gonna know where you're coming from. And if you're not coming from that inside higher self, then I know that you're trying to run a scam on me. You coming from somewhere else. So and it keeps going on. He said, because the devils can do mighty things. What's the devil?
The lower self.
Right. So ain't nobody with horns running around doing that. We have to dispel those thoughts, particularly from our children, that there's a devil running around trying to get you, or somebody gonna fly in with wings and save you. No, you are the one responsible for the ills and the gains that you suffer. Did not the Gentile magicians do great things before the Pharaoh? My word and deeds in all the walks of life shall be proof of my messiahship. So my journey is dictated by the deeds and the words. He said the words and the deeds. So if somebody giving you the words that is good words, but their deeds is not good deeds, then we see that they're not going down the proper path, and they're going to take us down the wrong path if we follow them, you know. And one thing very interesting here, he said, who is it that demands this? Who is it, you know, you can always ask that question of anything. Who is it that demands a test? You know, before I answer you, who are you that's demanding anything of me? Because I have my allegiance to Allah, period. It is my prophet. Then it goes through those things of faith. The Allah, the prophet, the angels, holy books, you know, on down. So we know the order of things. So who is it that demanding the test of me? So when somebody say, hey, I want you to do this and that and other, I can simply say, okay, well, who are you? Well, I'm this, this, and this. And how does that have anything to do with me? Because it's out of the order of the things that I am. You see? So somebody cannot demand of me something if they're not in order. Because I can simply say to them, you're out of order. This is how you need to come. You have to show me in my Quran. You have to show me in my bylaws. You got to show me in this. That's over there. I don't know what that is. So you need to express to me like this. Do you understand that? Well, yeah, it's okay. Well, talk to me. See, we can go there. Because he said, you can ask them, who is it that demands the test? Who are you this questioning to me? Islam? To say, okay, when we get down to 10, and then the tempter said, if you will go into Jerusalem and from the temple pinnacle, cast down yourself to earth, the people will believe you are the Messiah, sent from Allah. This you can surely do, for did not David say, he gives his angels charge concerning you, and with his hands will they uphold, lest you shall fall. So this reasoning is saying that you can do all kinds of things with the power of Allah. So he responds and says, and Jesus said, I will not tempt the Lord my God Allah. So he's saying then that even though I have the ability to do something, I don't just go out doing it. Like when we do our reading, and reading say, and stop flashing your cards at the European, it causes confusion. You can. But he's saying, allow reasoning the way out. It causes confusion, so don't do it because it causes confusion. Islam? So he's saying here, even though I can, I shouldn't do everything that I can do. I only do what's necessary to be done. And what you saying is twisted. He twisted then David said, you can do this, then this happened like this, so you can do that. So he twisted it to his desire. So who is the questioner? Who is the person asking that question of me? Who is demanding that I do these things? You know, so I have to look at that and know that that person may not be an honorable person. So a lot of the actions is going to be not honorable. So, and he says, if you will give your life to these, 13. And then the tempter said, look forth upon the world. Behold, its honors and its fame. Behold, its pleasures and its wealth. If you will give your life to these, they shall be yours. So he's saying, what is he saying here? Anybody? If you should give your life to these things, then he's saying wealth will be yours. What is he saying?
You're pretty much saying the carnal, you have everything carnally at your foot or at your feet.
Yeah, he's telling you you're going to have wealth and all these things. You're going to have, what he say he's going to give you? He said that he going to higher self prevail. Okay. Look forth upon the world. Behold its honors and its fame. So he's telling him, now did he offer him honor and fame? No, he said, behold. So look out there and see all the honor. Look how honorable he is. Look at the fame that he has. You know, now that don't mean them people is bad because they got honor and they got fame. You know, we did an example with the Keenan, what's his name again? The one that played on the Matrix. Keanu Reeves. He gave 70% of the money from the Matrix away. So he has fame. So, but he's not a bad person just because he has fame. So it doesn't mean anything. So he said, behold the honor and fame. Look at that. See, that's good. So he's setting him in a good light. And then he goes and says, behold its pleasures and its wealth. You have all these pleasurable things and all this wealth. You know, that's what he said. If you will give your life to these, they shall be yours. So if you give your life to honor and wealth, it's going to be yours. So he trying to get him to bind himself to his lower self. Those are only things that he want to do. So, but what was the beginning of this chapter? What did he intend on doing? A divine what? Ministry. So did that include all of the pleasures and wealth of life? That's not what he said. It may, but that's not the point of what he was doing. He was doing that he wanted to do XYZ. He wanted to have a divine ministry. He went to people. He wanted to know if he would be able to stand up under it, truthfully. So he told him, you can do all of these things and gain all this wealth, all this money, you know. So he's saying, but Jesus said, away from me, all tempting thoughts. My heart is fixed. Now, what is that? My heart is fixed. What is he saying? He became resolute. Exactly. His mind is made up. It's done now. You know, so we go back and forth, like on simple things. We go back and forth. Should I break up with her? Should I not break up with her? Next week we back together. 3 months later we not. Then we back together. Why? Because neither person is resolute in where their mind is set at. So he came down to a point. He did all this to become resolute, come straight to the bottom line. What am I going to commit to and stay committed to and keep moving from? So and he says, my heart is fixed. I spurn this carnal self with all its vain ambition and its pride. He said he pushing it away, the carnal self, you know. So he's saying he getting rid of it. Okay, so when we look at that, so he took for 40 days did Jesus wrestle with his carnal self. So all those thoughts and everything that existed, he was wrestling with that. Those thoughts were who thoughts? Who thoughts were those? When he said you can be wealthy beyond your greatest means. Who thought was that? Right. So that's his. He's dealing with his own self. That's part of his own makeup. Is all. So when it says that you can go and you can cast yourself down and you're gonna be fine. You can't die. You know you can't die. So go ahead, cast yourself down. All the people gonna follow you then. Who thought was that? Right. So he's dealing with himself. Nobody's on the side of him telling him anything. He's dealing with the thoughts inside of his own head. The same way you deal with the thoughts inside of your own head. So you have to question them thoughts and bring them to a point of resolution, to finality, that this is the fact of the matter, this is where it's at, and then stand on it. You have to bring that thought to that. That's nobody else's thought but your own. So you have to reason with that thought and bring it to finality. How you reason with it is with this. You learn this Quran. And then you learn the wisdom that's in this Quran just by reading it, and it'll allow you to be able to talk to yourself and bring yourself to a point of resolution. Now let's see what happened when he got to that point of resolution. He said, for 40 days, he wrestled with his carnal self. His higher self prevailed. So he got to that point because he said his higher self prevailed. He then was hungry, but his friends had found him and they did what?
Ministered. So.
Minister. His friends ministered to him. So what does minister mean?
Serve.
To serve, to aid, to help, to assist. So they came and ministered to him. They helped and assist him. So if you ministering to me, you helping me. You're not just sitting up there talking to me about what God said. Your feet is moving in a manner because we have bodies that need to be fed. We need to eat. We need to work. We need to do all of these things. So if we need to do those things and you ministering to me, come on with it. Don't just talk to me. Come on with it. Come help me. When we put the garden out there, what happened? We ministered to one another because we went out there and picked them weeds up. We went out there, got them cabbages, we got them the broccoli, we got the peas. You know, we did that. That was ministry in action. We helped some people with that food. So we ministered to them. What good is it going to do if I stand on the corner saying, God will help you with everything you need? I know, I just gave it to you. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you got it. It's because I gave it out of my hand to your hand. I took my life energy and dug the ground up, planted it, it grew, and went and handed it to you. And you did the same thing. So that's how we minister to each other. That's how we minister to the people. Islam? So, there's a question here. So who's ministered to you? Who has helped you, engaged you, and aided you? Anybody got anybody that's right on top of your head?
Allah.
Allah, yeah, but who has ministered to you, gave something to you specifically?
Parents.
Your parents? Anybody else? Anybody? Anything else?
You.
I did something, huh? The Grand Sheik is giving you some things. Anybody else? Who helped me? Yeah, he helped me with this right here. You know, Noble Ali. Who else has ministered to you? How about the brother? This your boy. Y'all like this? You know, he got $25. Y'all got to go out. You're like, man, I'll give you 12. You see? He aiding you. You know, I don't know what y'all about to go do when y'all going out. If it's right or wrong, but he's still with you. You know, it's live, but no, that's just a joke. But in any event, we all aid each other every day. You know, we aid our kids. We minister to our kids. When you cook them a meal, when we telling them right from wrong and then disciplining them. Why? Because I don't want them to get hurt. If they run out in the street at the wrong time, it's all bad. So when I discipline them, I'm aiding them in a higher understanding that's going to aid them through life. When they say, I want another piece of candy. No, you had one piece already. I'm aiding them because they're going to need their teeth. Wait, wrong. Did you brush your teeth? I'm aiding them. So I'm ministering to my kids. My mother ministered to me. The sister Grael ministers to me. The brother Grael ministers to me. Right? My nephew Hollowell L. He ministers to me. Oh, you all right? Hey, I'm kind of cool. Here goes something. I just want you to have that. Why don't you go get you? I know you like them donuts. Go get you a donut. It's only a couple of dollars, but guess what? It's worth 1,000 blessings. Why? Because you ministered to somebody. So ministering has nothing to do with you standing behind a pulpit. Well, it does, but that's not where it ends at. You see that the people came out to Jesus and ministered to him when he needed it. And they said to him, they said that his higher self prevailed. He then was hungry. We talk about all this higher self activity, right? All this higher self activity. However, he was hungry at the word. That's the reality of it. I can tell you about God all I want to. You can tell me about God all you want to, but I'm hungry. I don't feel like listening. I'm hungry. Help me eat. You know, if you got a $100,000 car, I can't even get to work. Help me eat. If you got $200 million and I got $15, help me eat. You see? So that's where we coming from. That's what we do. We help each other eat. We help each other survive in this manifest. Remember, we came from where we can't see. Now we're in a point where we can see. So it's up to us to continue to manifest the thing that we want to see. Islam? It's up to us to manifest those things. And it said, then Jesus left the wilderness and the consciousness of the holy breath. He left the wilderness in the consciousness of the holy breath. Now, what does that mean? He left in the consciousness. What is consciousness?
Conscience is a clear way of thinking.
Right.
And you're alert.
Now, and if sometimes when you're given these definitions, you have to extend to the higher plane to get the definition clear. Because if you read it out of just out that the thing and you don't go into the etymology of that word and supersede that, you'll just come out with a flat answer. But the brother say that again? So the brother said,
conscious way of thinking. I mean,
you're gonna describe the word with the word, right?
Yes. Give me a second here.
He says it's a clear way.
It's a clear way.
Yeah.
Process of thinking.
It's consciousness. And along the lines of what we're talking about in this higher self, that's clarity for you. Consciousness is that being aware of that truth that's there. If you're not conscious of the truth, how can you define it when you see it? How can you minister to someone that's going backwards if you don't know what the truth is, right? So this is the whole reasoning why Jesus went out into the wilderness, because he wanted, am I going to be able to recognize the truth when it's standing in front of me and assist that truth onto the next higher plane? Or will I be missing it? You know, so that is a true test, Islam. So he said he did this in the holy breath. So the holy breath we know is the truth. So in the consciousness of the truth, in the clarity of the truth, that's where we must reside. And then he said he came into the camps of John and he taught. Came into the camps of John and he taught. So he was ready now to go on to that divine ministry that we now know that is simply helping and aiding and assisting the men on the planet, women on the planet, the kids on the planet, the people on the planet, the planet. We aiding it. That's what we're saying when we in that chapter. Any questions? Any questions on that? Or any comments? You know, somebody can help me, they can aid me with that. Any comments or questions? None at all? That's unusual. Just because y'all came in late don't mean you don't say nothing. You're gonna be quiet. I ain't gonna notice it or something.
My goodness.
so you can still say something even though
You want somebody to come in on 80.
it's loud.
It's not the Moore Science Temple of Money, the grand body. And the government of the Moore Science Temple of America has aided me.
Islam. That's definitely
So
aid.
with the members of Subordinate Temple 12 here in Toledo has aided me.
Islam.
You know, make myself any clearer. Very conscious
Very conscious.
of the love.
Very conscious. It's love. It became manifest. Islam. Love became manifest. We didn't see it, but now we just saw it. We just saw it. Islam. So we're gonna go on to the second part. You know, if we have no more questions, we're gonna go on. The second part was grateful and ungrateful. That was what was titled, Grateful and Ungrateful. And we're gonna go to chapter 33. Oh, silly now. Going on to chapter 33. We're about to get in there. Some people about to be exposed in here today. They're about to get some exposure. Gonna rip the cover right off, you know. Take the bag off. Let's see what's in there. Islam. This is chapter 33, holy instructions from the prophet, gratitude. Gratitude. Now, it says, as the branches of a tree return their sap to the root, from whence it arose, as a river poureth its streams to the sea, whence the spring was supplied. So the heart of a grateful man delighted in returning a benefit received. So when they say a stream is flowing, it says from whence it arose as a river poured its stream to the sea. So rivers are all running, but where are they going? They're going back to the sea. They're going back to do what? Add to the body of the sea. They took away and they add back. It took away and it's adding back. It evaporates, it adds back. Correct? That's what we're saying here. So, and it says, so the heart. So what is the heart? Of a grateful man. So he said the mind of a grateful man delights in returning a benefit received. So he delights in returning a benefit received. So now we're saying that we said that our mothers minister to us. Islam, mothers minister to us. We minister to our kids. So now how do we return? Would you think of that as a benefit? Your mother ministering to you while you was young and still probably not. You know, would you think of that as a benefit? Okay, well, so it says a grateful man delights in returning a benefit that was received. So you received this benefit from your mother. That's what you said. Do you truly, thoroughly enjoy, do it delights you to return that benefit to her? Do you find a way to give her a gift to help her? You know, I got it. You know, I'll be over to shovel the snow. I go over my daddy's house, shovel the snow, go over my sister's house, you know. Don't worry about this, Ma, I can do that. You know, you got to do, no, you ain't got to get up. You ain't got to go nowhere. I'll go get it. I'll bring it back. You know, do you delight in that? You see, that's where the benefit is at. And that's a question. It's not rhetorical. Do you delight in that? Y'all just looking at me. Let me see some hands. Anybody that you know, I'm gonna probably meet y'all mamas anyway. So I'm gonna be asking. He said, do he do some things and come over to do something? Because that's the things that we're supposed to be doing. That's grateful. He said that is a grateful person because he delighted in doing it. He ain't, oh, Mom, you're getting on my nerves. You know, some moms do get on your nerves. You know, however, you just hold it and keep it moving because you don't benefit it too much at this point. You don't benefit a lot. You know, so people say, well, my mother didn't raise me. My daddy didn't raise me. But you hear all that DNA.
Islam, there was an original benefit.
Right, off the rip. It started off right with that. So that's where you at with it. So it says he acknowledged his obligations with cheerfulness. He looketh on his benefactor with love and esteem. And if to return it be not in his power, he nourishes the memory of it in his breast with kindness. He forgetteth it not all the days of his life. So what does that say? What is that saying? Because that's kind of important. What is that saying here? Nobody? I'm reading it again. And if to return it be not in his power, he nourishes the memory of it in his breast with kindness. He forgetteth it not all the days of his life. Islam.
If the person is unable to return that back, the fact that they still love it so much, they hang on to that thought, that blessing that they received, and they cherish it for the rest of their life.
Islam. That's in there. Anybody else? Anybody else? Come on with it. No, they're gonna hide out.
Islam looked like the cat and took their tongue this morning.
Something.
Guess we'll be catching it first.
He got he said, and to return it to be not in his power. So if I'm unable, somebody can do something for me. Let's say I run into Michael Jordan and he go, you know what? Here go a Ferrari. That's you. What? I'm not gonna be able to return that favor. It ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I gotta be grateful for it and have love for what was given to me And I can nourish the thought of, if I ever do get a chance to give away a Ferrari, I will. Even if I can't give it to him, he's passed or something of that nature, God forbid. But I will give it to somebody, you see? That's what that means, that you, if it's not in your power to return it, at least be grateful for the fact that you received it, and that when you get the power to give it, you're willing to. All the days of your life, you're grateful for that. Islam? He said, the heart of the grateful man is like the clouds of heaven, which drop upon the earth in fruit, herbage, and flowers. So it says the heart of the grateful man is like the clouds. Now, meaning that what happens? The clouds move around, and what happened? It dropped rain on all of the earth, and it grows flowers, and the clouds keep moving. So that's the heart of a grateful. The heart of a grateful man is like those clouds. He keep moving and causing things to grow everywhere he's going at. A grateful man, that's how you know if he's grateful. He causes things to grow everywhere he moves. Islam? Everywhere he moves, things is growing. When he talked to his kids, they benefit, they grow. When he talked to his parents, they grow. When he talked to me, I grow. He feed off of Allah. Islam? And it says, but the heart of the ungrateful is like a desert of sand, which swalloweth with greediness the showers that fall, and buries them in its bosom, and produces nothing. So rain in the desert does what?
Provides life.
And then nothing. There had to be a lot of it. He said it's the clouds that rain in the desert. They said that's the ungrateful man, where the water just hit that and just ain't nothing growing, ain't nothing gonna happen. So he ain't talking about nothing, ain't about nothing. That's the ungrateful person. All you have to do is look at him, and you can see what's growing around him. Nothing. Islam.
Are you trying to say talking loud and ain't saying that?
Talking loud, ain't saying nothing. We had to hit those every now and then. So he says that he produces nothing. Envy not thy benefactor, neither strive to conceal the benefit he has conferred. Now, it says, envy not the benefactor, and strive to conceal, neither strive to conceal the benefit he has conferred. So let's say somebody gave you something. You know, he came over. He go, here you go. This is something that you can use to help yourself out with everything you want to do. Say it's a lawnmower, nice lawnmower, zero radius lawnmower. You got it going on. So I come over. I said, man, that's a nice lawnmower. You know what I'm saying? Where you get that from? Oh, I just came up on it. But you won't say that. No, man. The brother gave me that lawnmower. That brother, that's a good brother. He gave me that lawnmower. But I don't want to say that he gave me the lawnmower. I envy him. You see, I want to say that I got the lawnmower, or I came up on the lawnmower. I don't want to get a credit to the person that did the good deed. Islam. So he's saying, envy not the benefactor. You know, that person that benefited you. You know, that's like saying my mother don't gave me food all my life, and then I get to a point where you ain't did nothing for me. I don't need you for nothing. I get my own. You keep buying yourself stuff, you ain't buying me nothing else. Now you don't got grown, and you won't. She buy a new car, you think she should buy you a new car. So you envying her stuff, you know. So it said, envy not, neither strive to conceal the benefit he has conferred to you. For though to oblige is better than to be obliged. Though the act of generosity commanded admiration, yet the humility touches the heart and is admirable on the sight both of Allah and man. So we talk about the physical and the spiritual. Even though some things have happened, they're admirable. You know, we can say at the same time, it says that Yet humility touches the heart. So if we humble ourselves, I gave it to somebody, but when I humble myself, it's made, or when somebody give it to you and you humble yourself, it's made that it is admirable to you both in your higher and lower self. You see, when you humble, you don't have no, if I don't have to tell somebody I gave somebody something, if I don't got to hide what somebody gave me, I'm humble, then I receive the benefit in physical life, and I receive the benefit in my higher self. So we have to humble ourselves, right? And it says, but receive not a favor. This is why we read this. We get to this last one, number 6. And instructions from the prophet of gratitude, chapter 33, number 6. But receive not a favor from the hand of the proud. All right? To the selfish and avaricious have no obligation. The greedy, basically, simplicity of it is greedy. So it says, to the selfish and avaricious have no obligation. What does that mean? What does it mean to have to the selfish and greedy people have no obligation? What does that mean? It's not.
They don't feel like they need to do anything for anybody else. They're not obligated to anybody besides themselves, their lower self.
Yeah, they are like that, but this is not exactly saying that. It's saying, but receive not a favor from the hand of the proud. So that's somebody we don't want to get it from, meaning that we're getting something. He said, to the selfish and greedy have no obligation. So it's saying to us that we should not enter into deals and contracts and things of that nature with selfish, greedy, conniving, unhonorable people. We should keep our dealings to ourselves. We should do business with each other. See, when you go out there, you say, man, I got to do this. And they say, okay, guess what, brother? I got you, so, yeah, I got a plan. It's going to be like this. And I need $25,000. I'm like, okay, well, I got you. Here go 12 for you to get started. You go down the road. You don't put all the people in. You're ready to go. You want the other 12,000. I go, wait a minute. Yeah, man, this ain't, I don't think this is going to work out too well. You know, I'm only getting 50% of that. And now I'm not feeling the same way, you know. So if I give you this other 12, I'm going to need 75%. But we had a deal. Yeah, well, the deal's changing. You want the other money or not? Yeah, you stuck. So you want the money. So you don't enter into obligations with this person. You don't enter into obligations with all your other people based on this person's word that is of no good. He's greedy and selfish. So how can you do that? How can you enter into an agreement with somebody that's greedy and selfish and then think that it's going to turn out all right? This is the problem. We go, man, I was down there, man, with them. He go, people, quote, unquote. I was down there, man, and with them white people. And they did this, and they did that. I had this doing, I had that. And then next thing you know, they took everything I had. Duh. Did you forget about slavery? It's not.
Okay, I get something different out of that. Because at the moment that that person chose to go into a contract with somebody that they already thought perhaps they shouldn't trust, they went into that for their own selfish reasons. So I don't get the exact same.
Well, the people, right. You may not go into it. You may be full. Like I may say, I want to build the temple. I want to build a new temple, and I may make an agreement with some people to build a temple. And I'm wholeheartedly just want to build the temple. And they go, okay, well, you know what? You have to use these bricks and these wires. No, I don't want to use those bricks. I told you that I'm building and I'm buying my bricks from him and my wire from him and I'm buying the carpet from him and that's from him. I ain't buying it from none of them people over there. Well, we're not going to give you the rest of the money. You halfway built, what you going to do? Because my plan did not include that he's going to do what he's going to do. You see? So I can have all the greatest intent in the world. But when I'm dealing with another person, I have to take into account what their nature is. So if it's a greedy people, now is that to say all white people is like that? No, I'm not saying that. But when you enter into certain deals with certain people, you have to be aware of the past. You have to take it into an account that this is going to be a issue, and I got to deal with it at the front.
Islam.
You know, Islam.
As well, also, we went over this topic before. They haven't did nothing to you that they've already done to themselves.
Islam. Islam.
Remember, so you have to be able to understand contracts, and we are Moors, and we refuse to go into the business of understanding something that we never had to deal with, but that has been around for centuries.
Islam.
So as a Moor, you should be able to look at a contract and pick it apart, whether it's a good one or not. We also have a sheikhs in here. That's what she does. You also have a governor. That's what he does. And I have just learned on the wording and being able to go into the etymology of it. So Moors, I'm telling you, if you want to be around here, that's beautiful. But you also got to start using the common sense that Allah has given you. Because some contracts are just flat out trickery.
I know. Islam.
Islam.
Yeah, and then it says here, selfish and avaricious have no obligation. The vanity of pride shall expose thee to shame. So what is happening is he's saying that vanity and pride will expose you when you're dealing with them to shame. Somebody look up shame for me. Look up shame. Look up the word shame. This is a very important thing because this is something that's necessary. You know, this is something that's necessary. Anybody?
I know the Taylor Bays, all 20 of them should be.
It's not. Go ahead.
Painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by consciousness of wrong and foolish behavior.
Okay. Read it louder.
A painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior.
Right. Wrong and foolish behavior followed by pain. This is shame. Now, when this particular book was written, words had a different meaning, so to speak. So we have to be cognizant of the fact that the word was more intensely used at that time than now. When you say shame, people don't really understand what you're saying. But have you ever got tricked? You done a deal where you put your money up and then some found out later on that you just got straight out tricked. Anybody? Nobody got tricked ever? Yeah, you put now your money gone. And have anybody ever been told, don't do that, and did it anyway? Right. See how you feel? It's painful. You can't sleep at night. You ever be like you can't sleep because you know that was just stupid. Why did I do that? Shame. Now, complicate that. Now you gotta go home to your wife, your girlfriend, and your child and say, the money gone. We're gonna be struggling for the next 2 months because the money gone. Do you see the shame? You see the pain? That's what shame, that's what pain is. That's what has to happen while we're dealing with our people. We have to tell them, you're shameful. Hurts me to look at you, what you're doing to your own people. It's shameful. You ought to go sit down somewhere. We ought to make sure that we bring that practice back into focus because that's what's going on. And it says here that it shall expose thee to shame. So you're going to not put yourself, now the next time somebody came to you with a deal that sounded good, did you jump on it after you felt that shame? No. You backed away, no, sound too good, bro. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it. You got some people now this day, boy, I ain't doing nothing. They don't got beat up so bad, felt so bad, had to go home and tell their wife, the brother told me they went to shoot dice, sister.
We got a comment over here. One of the brothers said, capitalism's theme of business is greed.
The capitalism's theme of business is greed. We got a brother online. He said it's greed. That is what that is. So when we dealing with it, we have to be cognizant of this. When we get ready to do contract, that we know that the ultimate goal is not a law. It's not the betterment of mankind. It's not the betterment of men. Now, let me say it again. When you're dealing with these people and you're dealing with contracts, you got to realize the goal is not the betterment of mankind, and it's not the betterment of men. It's the proliferation of a select few. That's where they at with that. That's capitalism in its rawest form. That's how it's going. They call it even in economics, they call it the invisible hand of the economy, or something. The invisible hand of the economy. It's like moving things on, supply and demand, they call it that. But in actuality, the priority should be Allah. Priority should be the people, not the business itself. Islam. Wow. So he's saying that pride shall expose thee to shame. The greediness of, he said, the greediness of avaricious shall never be satisfied. So he's saying that all the time that we'll spend talking about this, about these people that are grateful and ungrateful, people that have gratitude, don't have gratitude, the greed of that person that is ungrateful will never be satisfied. Will never be satisfied. Islam? We have any questions? Any questions? Any comments? Anybody get anything out of the class or no? Islam. Okay, so we'll stand. We can ask questions afterward, but we need to close out. Get everybody out here. So we're gonna stand. Thanks, peace. Allah, bind our hearts and minds back to our ancient forefathers' divine creed and principles. This we ask in that holy name in the seven Elohim. Amen. Please remain standing. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Jew Ali. Amen. Amen. Islam. So if we got any questions or anything, you can ask me or ask any of the other adapts or sheiks you see in the room.